Good evening, all. I'm Johnny Tyler, the board co-chair for the LGBT Center. Welcome to our virtual FAB 2020 event. We will miss seeing you in person this year, but we are so glad you're joining us safely from your homes as we highlight the LGBT Center's work towards collective liberation, honor leaders in our communities who are fighting for our freedom, and invite you to be engaged in this critical work. As those who are most marginalized continue to be under attack, this is a critical time for us to come together, to use our voices, to take action collectively to fight for our freedom. Fighting for our freedom means fighting white supremacy by consistently and unapologetically centering Black lives, voices, and experiences. Fighting for our freedom means fighting hate speech and hate crimes by protecting, defending, and continuing to grow our safe spaces. Fighting for our freedom means fighting attempts at voter suppression by voting like your lives depend on it, because so many of ours do. Fighting for our freedom means creating space for joy, love, and laughter in the midst of oppression, pain, and suffering. We are fighting for our freedom because in the words of Fannie Lou Hamer, nobody's free until everybody's free. We must not stop fighting until all LGBTQ plus people, especially those who are most marginalized, can live as our authentic selves and be safe, valued, and affirmed in that. We have so many incredible people to honor tonight who are embodying this work in so many ways. Dr. Rachel Levine, Heidi Notario, Ricardo Almodovar, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Bryce Williams, Casey Stokes-Rodriguez, and Sundae's Best. This work is an inspiration. Their work is an inspiration to us all. We are thrilled to uplift each and every one of them in the work that they're doing this year in this FABS event. I want to take a moment to uplift Monica Roberts, who passed away recently on October 5th. She was a groundbreaking Black trans journalist, advocate, and a thoughtful leader who founded Transgriot blog with the tagline, a proud, unapologetic Black woman speaking truth to power and discussing the world around her since 2006. The name of the blog came from West African tradition of griot as storyteller. And indeed, Monica made it her life's work to tell the stories of transgender people, particularly Black trans people. She highlighted the work and accomplishment of trans people in many different fields, celebrating lives and increasing visibility and for our communities, as well as working to document those who take it from us by violence. Transgriot received the GLAAD Media Award for Outstanding Blog in 2018 and was nominated for four other times. Monica wrote for The Advocate, Ebony.com, and other publications. Her contributions is immeasurable, and she will deeply be missed by us all. Tonight, we celebrate those who are doing their work. We are so grateful for each of you being here to support the LGBT Center, Central PA, as we continue to move on our mission. Thank you to our sponsors. We would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for their generous support, not only for this evening's event, but for the center's work throughout the year. Our 2020 corporate allies are at the advocate level, PPNOS, Integrated Marketing Communications. At the leader level, Capital Blue Cross, Comcast, Giant, UPMC Health Plan, and WellSpan. At the ambassador level, Hamilton Health Center, Hershey Entertainment and Resorts, Highmark, Morgan Stanley, Penn State Health, and TE Connectivity. Special thanks to our FAB 2020 Gold sponsor, the Foundation for Enhancing Communities. I'd like to thank the committee who worked so hard to put this together, this fabulous event for this evening. Megan Peterson and Damari Rodriguez as co-chairs, Ryan Colhick, Brad Gilbert, Gretchen Little, Debs Nevziger, Zach Nevziger, and Hanno Sendeller. And thank you to all the individuals and businesses who donated to the fantastic silent auction items for this evening. Don't forget to check those out throughout the evening on the right side of your screen. Since a virtual fab is a new experience to us all, we have a tech support team available throughout the evening to address any tech issues that may arise. You can call and text them at any time at 717-409-5781. That's 717-409-5781. Thank you again for being here tonight, and we will now turn it over to our illustrious host for the evening.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Treats.
And I'm Felicia O'Toole.
And we're Sundae Best. We are so excited to be here this evening, not just as awardees, but as MCs for the first ever virtual FAB event celebrating 2020.
We are so thankful that the LGBT Center has a presence in our community. And we're so thankful for you for being here to support the Center's vital work.
You'll see us throughout the evening, and we'll do our best to make sure you stay awake and entertained from your couch or your kitchen table.
Your bathtub.
Wherever you happen to be tuning in from. Also, don't forget to check out our silent auction items sporadically throughout the program. Yeah, you can find them just over there. Make sure to get your bids in early.
That's all from us for now, but next we'll hear remarks from Amanda Arbor, the Center's Executive Director.
Thank you so much for being here with us for FAB 2020. As I reflect on the theme, fighting for our freedom could not be more timely. Globally, we are dealing with the impacts of a deadly pandemic and engaging in an uprising in response to the killing of Black people by the police. Nationally, we are responding to systematic attacks on the rights of transgender people, grieving the Black transgender women who are being killed at alarming rates, and bracing ourselves for an impending election that will directly impact the rights, lives, and well-being of our communities. Locally, we are processing the impact of vicious social media attacks against GLOW, a white supremacist group defacing Black Lives Matter signs and murals, and hateful homophobic graffiti on the center's front windows. There's a lot to feel anxious, fearful, and angry about right now. I do not have easy answers, but this is what I do know. Our communities have a long history of fighting for our freedom, and we will not stop now. At the LGBT Center, we will fight back every time against attacks on our communities. We will continue to care for each other, build community together, and be resilient. When we talk about inspiring LGBTQ+ people across identities for collective liberation, we are talking about building a world where all of us are safe, valued, and affirmed, where we can have our basic needs met and our rights respected, where all of us can live, can breathe, can be free. Part of our work in building this world is fostering spaces for queer and trans people to find community, connection, and support. These spaces have looked different since the pandemic hit, and yet we have continued to provide virtual programming for LGBTQ youth and young adults of color, trans and non-binary people, queer and trans people of color, and we've expanded our Aging with Pride program to provide additional support for our LGBTQ+ older adults. As we have shifted and changed how we do our work, we continue to be here for you. And I have been so encouraged to see the many ways that you are showing up to be here with us. In these scary and isolating times, we are building community and we are being community together. We are also rallying and marching together to demand justice for Black people killed by the police. Anti-Black violence and police brutality are not new, nor are the organizing and coalition building efforts led by Black people. Yet we find ourselves at a critical moment when people are rising up across the globe as part of the Black Lives Matter movement, putting our bodies on the line for justice and demanding tangible changes in our communities. We are also seeing the backlash that accompanies any racial justice movement, but we will never stop working for a world where Black people can live, can breathe, can be free. We continue to foster dedicated spaces through our QTPOC group for queer and trans people of color of any age, and at GLOW for LGBTQ+ men of color and trans women of color ages 14 to 29. GLOW is Harrisburg's first community center of its kind, with a vision to empower members of our priority communities to live healthy, authentic lives. In addition to fostering these dedicated spaces, the LGBT Center is working to educate and activate our communities around anti-racism. We created anti-racism book bundles in partnership with Black-owned bookstores and have been publishing monthly racial justice resource lists. We continue to grow and learn ourselves as individuals and as a center as we strive towards our goal of becoming an anti-racist organization. As I reflect on this year, it has felt like a year of loss in so many ways. And yet it has also been a year of coming together to persistently support one another and fight for justice. None of this work would be possible without many dedicated people who lead, support, and invest in the center on a regular basis. I am so grateful for our staff who are passionate about what we do, pour so much of themselves into our work, and are shaping our identity as a center on a daily basis. Dre Seha is our Director of Training and Education and has done significant work growing our training and education program over the past year. Even as their job changed radically during the early months of the pandemic, they were flexible, finding creative ways to promote and deliver virtual trainings, and spearheading our anti-racism book bundles and racial justice resource lists. They have also done a phenomenal job coordinating our team of Passageways facilitators and running the Arts of PA program virtually this year. Thank you so much, Dre, for the passion, talent, and commitment you bring to the center. Amanda Carter is our Director of Youth Programs and marks 2 years with the center next week. She has put an incredible amount of time and energy into opening GLOW and leading the team there with skill, passion, steadiness, and insight. Carter always ensures that the voices of the Youth Advisory Board members are at the center of decisions being made, tirelessly advocates for participants and staff, and in the face of recent attacks, has focused on safety and support for staff and participants, and making it clear to our communities that GLOW will not be deterred from its mission. Thank you, Carter, for your steadfast and inspiring leadership at GLOW. Gabe Taylor is our Youth Programs Coordinator and just celebrated their 1-year anniversary with the center. Gabe has brought a calm and compassionate energy to their work with Common Roads, caring deeply about our queer and trans youth and always striving to create safer spaces for them to thrive. As youth programming switched to virtual in March, Gabe has been persistent and creative in finding ways to continue to engage our participants, both through Common Roads and at GLOW, doing Instagram Lives, virtual games, and care packages. Thank you, Gabe, for the care and creativity that you bring to our programs. I also want to thank our incredible board of directors who lead the center with so much passion for and commitment to the center and provide valuable guidance as we move our mission forward and navigate challenges along the way. I am so grateful for each of you. Reverend Miller Hoffman and John A. Tyler, co-chairs, Kelly Monahan, treasurer, Damati D. Rodriguez, secretary and co-chair of the events committee, Megan Peterson, co-chair of the events committee, Ted Sickler, chair of nominations and board development committee, Jaquia Harris, QTPOC liaison, Dr. Jaylene Galarza, Bradley Gephardt, Shaq Glover, Stephanie Gerard Esquire, Kayla Kressler, Deb Snafziger. I would also like to thank Dr. Evan Smith and Jessica Johnson-Vinton, who served as co-chairs of our development committee this year. The center's work would not be possible without the generosity of so many people, including many of you watching tonight, who give financially as sustaining donors. I want to give a special thanks to those who give at our highest level as visionary donors. Sandy Geary and Lynn Walker, Trum and Michelle Simmons, Dorothy Fulton, Deb Snafziger. Thank you so much for each of you investing in the center so generously. Finally, I would like to thank our grant funders, UPMC Pinnacle Reach Program, Family Health Council of Central PA, J. Nidra Schilling Foundation, Schlegel-Deibler Charitable Foundation, Health Promotion Council, Gamma Mu Foundation, Wild Geese Foundation, YWCA Greater Harrisburg, and Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld Fund. Thank you all so much for your generous support. Next, we will hear from two of our previous board members, Gretchen Little and Dr. Evan Smith, as they lead us through a time of remembrance.
As we come together tonight to celebrate those of us fighting for our freedom, we also want to pause and remember those who are no longer with us. Several people in our local communities died within the past year, as did a national trailblazer who we'd like to pay tribute to. And far too many transgender people of color have been killed this year, and we have to say their names. We recognize this can be triggering, especially for people who share these identities, so feel free to step away from your screen for a few minutes if you need to. Trent C. France passed away on May 4th. He was an individual, not one to follow a group, although very involved in his community, especially at the First Baptist Church of Steelton. His avid nature and generous heart made him easily liked and forever loved by countless friends and family. Trent loved music. Diana Ross and the Mississippi Choir were his favorites. Although he later moved to Florida, we are grateful for the time he spent with us in Harrisburg. Chester Lehman Wenger passed away recently on October 1st. He made national news in 2014 when he was stripped of his credentials by the Lancaster Mennonite Conference after officiating his son's same-gender wedding. His son, Phil Wenger, said, "I just couldn't be more proud to be his son." They are pictured here together. We're grateful for Chester's unswerving support and advocacy for his son and for our LGBTQ plus communities. We need more parents and faith leaders like him. We lost a national trailblazer on May 12th. After coming out to her employer as trans, Amy Stevens was fired from her job. She took her case all the way to the United States Supreme Court. She was one of the 3 plaintiffs we have to thank for this summer's monumental decision affirming that LGBTQ plus people are protected from discrimination under Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Transgender people specifically are now protected because of Amy. We admire the perseverance she showed while advocating for herself and for many others. Sadly, she did not live to hear this decision or reap its benefits, but she did write a statement before her death, which was released after the favorable ruling. Amy wrote, "Firing me because I'm transgender was discrimination. Plain and simple. And I'm glad the court recognized that what happened to me is wrong and illegal. I am thankful that the court said my transgender siblings and I have a place in our laws." Thank you, Amy.
Naming the friends that we've lost is a way to remember and honor and celebrate their lives, to understand our own impermanence, to grieve. Naming the people who have been attacked and murdered for being transgender is additionally an act of defiance, of resistance, It is a way of exposing and drawing attention to violence and oppression. ACT UP said silence equals death, and we refuse to be silent. Violence against transgender people is a national and global epidemic. The names and biographies reveal that those most affected, most targeted, are those of us who live at the intersections of oppression. Transgender, women, of color, in particular Black trans women. As of this recording, 31 transgender people have been killed in the United States so far this year, the highest rate of deadly transphobic violence since the HRC started tracking this in 2013. And these are only those who we know about, who we can name. We know that there are more whose names we don't know because their gender is misreported by police or covered up by families. Anti-trans violence is a queer issue to be exposed by us, named by us, and eradicated by us. When we say that we are fighting for our freedom, at its most basic level, this is what we are fighting for. The freedom to live, to breathe, to exist in public and private spaces as our full, authentic selves, without the fear of violence. Tonight we celebrate the lives and castigate the deaths of those transgender people known to us, killed within the United States by saying their names. Wherever you are watching from, please pause as we say their names and join me in a moment of silence at the end. Brianna B.B. Hill, Dustin Parker, Nulisa Lucia Ruiz, Yampi Mendez Arocho, Monica Diamond, Lexi, Johanna Metzger, Serena Angelique Velasquez Ramos, Leila Pelaez Sanchez, Penelope Diaz Ramirez, Nina Pop, Helly J. O'Regan, Tony McDade, Dominique Remy Falls, Rhea Milton, Jane Thompson, Selena Reyes Hernandez, Brian Egypt Powers, Brayla Stone, Mercy Mack, Shaki Peters, Bree Nook Black, Summer Taylor, Marilyn Cazares, Dior H. Ova, Kiasha D. Hardy, Asia Raquel Roan Spears, Key Sam, Ariane Burnett, Mia Green, Michelin Ramos Vargas, Felicia Harris,
Thank you for helping us to remember and honor those we have lost this year, particularly those who have been taken from us by anti-trans violence. We hold together both the grief and sorrow for those who are gone, as well as joy and gratitude for those who are still with us today.
One of the people we're so grateful for is Zephaniah, one of the center's young adult participants. Zeph came to the area a little over a year ago and quickly became part of the center's family. We value their kindness, honesty, and perseverance, and we're so thankful that they found us.
Let's hear from Zeph, who will share a bit of their story about why the center and the work that we do is so important to them.
Hello there, everyone. My name is Zephaniah. I'm an agender person, and recently, last month, I signed a lease on an apartment after a year of homelessness. I can't begin to describe what it's like to exist on the fringes of society like that. I arrived in Harrisburg after my partner's homophobic mother kicked me out. I moved to Pennsylvania for that partner, and now I found myself trapped someplace I had never been, alone, half crazed, and sleeping in my truck. I've struggled with being suicidal my whole life, and now it seemed the world was in agreement that I don't deserve to live. Coming to the center was me finding a safe place where I wasn't treated as society's outcast. I became part of a community. The center helped me get connected with resources, made sure I had food from the food bank that they maintain, and most importantly, gave me a place to be during the day and kept me sane. I wouldn't have made it through the past year without Amanda, Gabe, Carter, and Dre. As a community, we have to prioritize liberation in all forms. Gender-affirming emergency shelter does not exist for trans people. We can't be free to live how we choose without safety and nurturing for society's most vulnerable people like me. A year of struggle and fear is not the best we as a society, as a community, can do. We build and maintain a strong community when we care for the members of the community that are most in need. I'm excited to grow now that I've been afforded that opportunity and share the love I received from the queer people that nurtured me. Thank you for this and have a good FAB.
Thank you, Zeph, for sharing your story so poignantly with us. We are grateful for all that you bring to the queer and trans communities here in Harrisburg, and we know that there is more work to do to ensure safe and stable housing for LGBTQ+ people. Creating communities and building resilience in the face of discrimination and oppression is something that our communities have long history of. It is what ballroom and Vogue scene came out of. In the 1960s, tied to discrimination and cross-dressing balls, also known as fashion shows, that took place and dated back to the 1930s, Black queens created a space where they would be welcomed and accepted. This was the birth of ballroom and Vogue. It also served as a safe space for Black and brown gay men, trans women, and drag queens. In its conception, Vogue dancers would take Vogue poses from the models in Vogue magazine and recreate them in a form of dance. Ballroom Vogue has since evolved and still serves as a space for most marginalized LGBTQ people of color. Tonight, we bring you a little piece of Ballroom Vogue.
Mary had a little lamb who sleeps with a white snow, and everywhere that Mary went, her lamb was short to go. And when that bitch looked at me and said, "Are you coming for me?" I said, "Yes, I wanna answer that beat at the back of the runway, please." London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling short and stout. Here is my handout, here is my style. When I get off steam, don't hear me shout. Take me over and pour me out. I'm a clever tea party, yes, it's true. Here, let me show you what I can do. I can change my handle and my style. Just tip me over and pour me out. Pour it up. Yeah, pour it up. Now, pour it up. Pour it out. Yeah. Listen, now roll your boat. Gently down the stream now. Merrily, life is but a dream. Yeah, roll, now roll your boat. Gently down the stream, yeah. Merrily, life is but a dream. Now roll your boat, now roll your cart. Roll your boat, now roll your boat. Now roll the dust, now roll it up. Roll to the roll here, out. Roll the cut, now roll your blunt. Roll the serve, now roll the shade. Roll the get it up, get it up. Yeah, oh! My black sheep, have you any war? Yes, sir, 3 bags for. One for the master, one for the game, one for the little boy who lives on the lane. My black sheep, have you any war? Yes, sir, 3 bags for. One for the master, one for the game, one for the little boy who lives on the lane. Roar, kitty cow, kitty cow, kitty cow, cow. One, roar, kitty cow, kitty cow, cow. One by the time here. One, roar, kitty cow, kitty cow, kitty cow, kitty cow, kitty cow, kitty cow, yeah. Oh!
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you so much, Narada 007, for sharing a glimpse of this legendary art form with our viewers tonight. The Center is doing critical work fighting for our freedom by inspiring LGBTQ people across identities for collective liberation. We need your support tonight to keep our programs going strong and to expand and adapt to the changing needs of our communities. I'm Mr. Treats. I know that we've already met each other, but I'm not sure the center knows who I am because they've given me a very important job this evening. We are here. Our goal tonight is to raise $5,000 through donations. $5,000, I think that's attainable. The hope is that this amount will support the vital work of the LGBT Center during this extremely difficult year. And you out there at home can help make this happen. But how, Mr. Treats? I'm so glad you asked. Our giving levels will start at $1,000. We'll work our way down to 500, 250, 100, and 50. Although, obviously, we welcome gifts in any amount and at any time, not just this evening. You can donate by clicking the donate button. Should be right up here in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you'd like, you're also welcome to take out your phone and text donate to 717-910-3446. If you run into any technical problems, please call or text our support line at 717, another number. Don't worry, I'll go slowly. That's 717-409-5781. And that is our tech support number if you want to contribute this evening and are having any issues. Hello? No, we don't deliver pizzas anymore. Don't worry, I'm not the tech support line. Never fear, you are in good hands. Is everyone ready? Do you have a good idea of how this works? Don't forget that donate button is there. And we are going to start our giving off tonight at $1,000. This is our $1,000 giving level. If you'd like to contribute, you're welcome to hit that button or text that number anytime. Once again, that number is 717-910-3446 if you're in need of tech support. Now, I know that I can't see you, but I know you're out there. I'm waiting and watching for our first donor to tune in. I know it might take a couple minutes for you to figure it out, but once you do, I will happily read your name, and that really is, a prize in and of itself, is it not? So let's see. who is our first? Oh, no, I'm still waiting. We have anyone who wants to contribute tonight to our $1,000 level. Now, I am a drag queen. One thing I'm good at is generally taking money. It's a real shame that we're not here to do this in person because I'd love to look you all in the eyes while I roll my shoulders slowly and tell you, please, will you join us this evening? Do we have anyone jumping in at the $1,000 level? Let's move on. Once again, we accept donations in any amount at all, and at any time, although obviously this way is more fun. Is anyone willing to join us at our level 2, $500 level? We get a first donation. Oh, I see something's coming in. Still on dial-up over here, so it's a little slow, but I live in Harrisburg City, and I'm sure anyone who does can relate. The internet here is terrible. Oh, I see donations coming in, but I can't read them yet. Your name still has the chance to be first. If you want to hit that little button right here on your screen and contribute at our level 2, $500 level. Does anyone out there want to show these folks how it is done? Now, remember, your generosity this evening supports amazing programs, some of which you've already heard about tonight. I know a lot of you out there who are watching are familiar with the work of the LGBT Center. You're giving tonight at whatever level, whether you want to jump in at that level 1, level 2, or beyond once we move on. Your generosity supports programs like our Queer and Trans People of Color group, which is an exclusive space for QTPOC folks of any age. Currently, they're meeting twice a month virtually during this difficult time. So the center is adapting very quickly to meet the needs of our community during this difficult year. And I see we have our first contributor at the level 1. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Julie M. You are just a doll. Once again, I wish I could see you in person and give you a squeeze, but thank you so much for supporting our work this evening. Oh my gosh, see, this is fun. More, please. Ted S., thank you so much, my darling, for your generous contribution this evening and supporting the work of the LGBT Center of Central PA. And I see someone else has jumped in at our $1,000 level. You are really kicking this off and showing everyone out there how it's done. Thank you so much, Andrea, for your generous contribution this evening. Oh my, like my fingers can hardly move fast enough. Oh my gosh, I see that Julie M. has contributed. Julie, thank you so much for your contribution. Oh my goodness, Amanda K. Thank you so much. Patricia F. The names keep rolling in, and I am loving every second of it. Gretchen L. Thank you so much for your contribution. There's quite a few generous people out there this evening. I'm trying so hard to keep up. Once again, your generosity this evening helps support programs like Passageways, which is a weekly virtual space specifically for transgender and non-binary folks, ages 16 and up, to discuss and discover their authentic selves with dignity and respect, where they get to interact with their peers and learn from the experience of others. I first got acquainted with the center a long time ago during my coming out process, and those support programs for young adults really change lives and help connect people to their community and to the work that the center is doing. So thank you so much, Anna N., for supporting us tonight. Love you, doll. Michael T., you really shouldn't have. Thank you so much, but you should do it again. Oh my gosh, Evan S., thank you so much for your contribution this evening, darling. You all are doing such a great job out there. Oh my gosh, I see we have even more contributors still rolling in. Thank you so much for your generosity, Kelly M. We really appreciate your support this evening. Jacqueline B., thank you so much for jumping in and lending your support to the work of the center this evening. Megan P., thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like every one of these is like a little love letter that I get to read. We should do that next year. Natalie R., thank you so much for your generous contribution. Once again, I know I said I'm not on tech support, but I feel like this isn't really doing anything, is it? Oh my gosh, there's more. And this is why you shouldn't wear gloves when you're scrolling. I've been performing in drag for 6 years. You think I would have learned that lesson by now. Now, as I said, our goal tonight is $5,000. That's right, $5,000. I have a feeling we may just be about halfway there. Trying to do some very quick math. Are there any other? Oh my gosh. 76%. We are already to 76% of our goal this evening. This is so exciting. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated so far. Is there anyone else who wants to help us raise that final 24%? Yes, if you'd like to jump in this evening and support the generous work of the center, don't hesitate to hit this little button right up here. It's there. Did you get it that time? How about now? This little button right there, or you can go ahead and donate by phone. If you want to pull out your phone, you're welcome to donate that way as well. All right, folks, it's getting serious. All right. I see there's more donations rolling in. Oh my gosh, Debs N, thank you so much for supporting us this evening. I hope you're feeling safe and fabulous wherever you are. I'm so sorry I missed the reception. I wish I could have seen everyone's fabulous outfits. Elizabeth G, thank you so much, darling. We really appreciate your support. Oh my gosh, there are 2 more contributors that I think I've neglected to mention as well. Laura C, thank you so much. Natalie R. Oh my gosh, Courtney N, thank you very much for your support. We're getting dangerously close to our goal, and the sooner we reach it, the sooner I can stop talking to you. Please, 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 folks, we are almost 80% of the way there. We're trying to reach our $5,000 goal this evening. Once again, every single dollar goes to support the work and the programs of the LGBT Center of Central PA during an incredibly critical time for our community. Your generosity at any level will help support programs like Aging with Pride, which is a weekly group for LGBTQ older adults to find community, connection, and support. During this time, they're featuring a combination of virtual and outdoor socially distanced programming. Once again, yet another faction of our community that benefits from the amazing work that the folks at the center are fighting so hard to keep up. 87%. It's climbing so steadily. Family-friendly event, honey. Sandy G, thank you so much for your support, doll. And I see Katie D as well. Thank you so much for helping us get even closer to our goal. I see another one, Ryan C. Love you. Thank you so much, doll. Amanda A, thank you so much for your contribution. As always, 91%. We are dangerously close to our goal, folks. And there's a slice of pizza that I really, really want to put in my mouth. Help us get there. 91%. Oh, it's climbing. We're so close. We only have a couple more $100 to go. Don't forget, you can hit this little button anytime, donate. Your gifts at any level support services like virtual training for schools, businesses, service providers, and so many more institutions so that they're informed and equipped with best practices for working with queer and trans people, which makes a world of difference for so many folks in our area. Oh my gosh. We're so close. I can feel it. I'm looking for 1, maybe 2 very generous donors to join us at the $200 level. If anyone out there can contribute $200, we are going to reach our $5,000 goal. 96%. I knew if I waited long enough it would happen. You all are doing such an amazing service to our community. We honestly cannot thank you enough for your support tonight. I know it's a little strange to be tuning in from our isolated blocks, but it's also really amazing to think about all of you in different houses and different rooms all across the state, maybe even across the country tonight. And it's amazing that we are still able to be connected and to celebrate moments throughout the year and hopefully in the future of our community. Oh my gosh, Adrian S., thank you so much, darling. We are so close. How close are we? We only need $80 to meet our goal. This just in, folks, $80. If you can donate $5, $10, $20, every little bit helps. We are 98% of the way there. Oh my gosh. Did we get there? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much to all of you out there at home. Wait. It's official. Okay, so okay. We have raised $5,000. And is there a timer on this? I don't know how long we've all been. Yes, sorry, I'll let you go back to, yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your generosity this evening and for supporting the work that the center is doing. Your giving tonight and honestly throughout the year, anytime that you're able to, makes the center's vital day-to-day work and programming possible. We are so grateful, and we are still getting some donations in, so we are able to exceed our goal a little bit. Remember, you can donate there anytime. There are some fabulous auction items that I know are incentivized, so the higher they climb, the more you get. So please, you don't need to stop giving right now, but to everyone who has contributed and helped us meet our goal, thank you from the bottom of our hearts so much. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Oh, cocktail hour?
No, Felicia, the awards.
Oh, the awards. We are thrilled and humbled to be presenting 6 FAB awards this evening to individuals who are doing difficult, incredible, necessary, and exciting work in modeling leadership across our communities. Hey, this one says Sunday Best.
We'll be back on your screens to collect our award in just a couple minutes.
Oh,
just don't
okay.
tell Felicia.
Hey.
Our first award category for this evening is the Rising Star Award, which recognizes an individual or a group who recently emerged as a leader and has begun to make their mark within our local LGBTQ communities in Central PA through significant contributions in a short period of time. I am thrilled to introduce our FAB 2020 awardee for this category, Bryce Williams. Also known as Anastasia Diamond, hailing from Chambersburg, PA, Bryce embodies many roles within our communities. As a dedicated social worker, the focus of his career has been working directly with persons living with HIV, including testing, prevention, and linkage to care services. He currently provides education, empathy, and guidance to his clients and their families as an HIV medical case manager with Keystone Health Center. Outside of his 9-to-5, Bryce is also a dazzling drag queen, and you can catch Miss Anastasia Diamond most often at Divas Down Under, where she won a spot on the cast in 2018. She not only entertains audiences everywhere, but uses her talent and platform to support LGBTQ and trans-Pacific fundraising campaigns, including partnering with the Center's Arts of PA Drag Benefit Show. In addition to all of this, Bryce is currently a board member on the Franklin County Coalition for Progress, on the Pride Franklin County Committee, and assists the United Way of Chambersburg as a member on the Diversity, Inclusion, and Equality Committee, tangibly creating a safer space where LGBTQ people can find belonging joy in rural PA. We are excited to recognize him this year as our rising star.
Hello, my name is Bryce Williams, also known as Anastasia Diamond, while in drag. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to the LGBT Center of Central PA for being the backbone for the LGBTQIA plus community for folks living in Central PA. Without this organization, I can't even imagine how we would be navigating the very difficult decisions that need to be made for our rights, for our protections, and for support for those across all age groups. I want to say thank you to Dre Seha and Jaylene Galarza for nominating me for this amazing award. When I received official word about this nomination, I was completely flabbergasted. It wasn't until last year that I had heard about the FAB Gala whenever I was working at Hamilton Health Center as the Hope Community Educator. It never crossed my mind that we would have ceremonies like this at this level to recognize and celebrate all the amazing work that's being done here in Central PA. Nor did I realize that there were so many numerous opportunities to work with the LGBTQIA plus community. That belief came primarily from an experience that I had in my undergraduate where I had hopes to intern with the LGBT Center of Central PA. But an advisor advised me that there are no opportunities out there to really work with the LGBTQ community, and you won't be able to make a career of working with the community. You won't gain the right experiences, etc., blah, blah, blah. Well, here I sit now as a master's level social worker, working day in and day out with individuals who identify as being part of the LGBTQIA plus community. I work with individuals across all age groups. I work with my coworkers and help to educate them on queer issues. I'm a co-host on a weekly drag show called Inside the Drag Closet with three of my wonderful sisters. Every piece of work that I do is for the betterment of the queer community or to educate myself on queer issues. But I wouldn't have had those opportunities without the support of my family, my friends, my coworkers, my colleagues, my drag sisters, my field advisors, my professors, etc., etc. We stand on the shoulders of those who support us, and I cannot in good faith badmouth anyone. But what I will say is, follow your heart, do good in the world, and your great works shall be recognized. To sign off, all Black Lives Matter. Science is real, love is love, and kindness is everything. Get out and vote this November because our lives depend on it. Thank you.
Next, we're presenting the Volunteer of the Year Award, which recognizes an individual, group, or organization who has dedicated a significant amount of their personal time and energy as a volunteer to further the work of the LGBT Center of Central Pennsylvania. I am so happy to be introducing Casey Stokes-Rodriguez for this award. I first met Casey 2 years ago, shortly after I'd started working with the center, to collaborate on getting a GSA off the ground at John Harris High School. She was working as a trauma-informed therapist there and was incredibly committed from the start, working closely with me to create that safe space for LGBTQ plus students. And she was the founding advisor for SAFE, the Student Association for Freedom of Expression. Casey was instrumental in creating and maintaining this critical weekly space for queer and trans youth, including providing language access for her Spanish-speaking students to be able to participate. She facilitated GSA meetings every single Wednesday during the school year and over the summer, and during virtual learning in this global pandemic has still found ways to stay engaged with her students. including the use of TikTok. Casey consistently goes above and beyond what she is paid to do to support LGBTQ+ students, organizing field trips like a trip to see Hamilton, donating supplies out of her own pocket, and much more. I'm so grateful that she exists and that we have the opportunity to work with her, and that she's creating a space for queer and trans youth in Harrisburg. I am thrilled to recognize her as our Volunteer of the Year. Miss Casey!
Good evening. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I'm humbled to receive this award, as well as to be in the company of such incredible fellow honorees. I'm a proud social worker in the Harrisburg area. I wear a lot of different hats and play a lot of different roles, as many social workers do. Hands down, one of my favorite roles in the past few years has been the advisor of the John Harris High School GSA SAFE, Student Association for Freedom of Expression. A GSA did not exist previously at our school and would not exist today without our students, and Carter, advocating for the creation of a safe space where students could show up and feel safe to be exactly who they are and express themselves exactly as they please. No judgment, no bullying, no hiding, just a profound love and acceptance for one another. One of the founding members of SAFE is a courageous, resilient, incredible student named Sam. I'd like to dedicate the rest of my remarks this evening and this award to Sam. Sam, I know that I'm the adult and it's usually the other way around, but I hope you know just how much I look up to and admire you. You have heard messages your entire life telling you that you can't do it that way, or you can't dress like that, or you can't go by that name. Messages that so often try and make you conform. You usually respond to those messages with a polite okay, as if in agreement, that you will change yourself for others. But then, you follow up with one of your genius, under the breath, hilariously sarcastic comments as if to affirm that, nope, I'm doing it my way. You show up anyway, and you do it on your own terms, and you stay true to yourself. Sam, you exude what wholeheartedness is in so many ways, including the following. The way you fiercely, unapologetically, and obsessively love Aaron, your cat. The way you dye your hair whatever color suits your mood and always, always pull it off. The way you fearlessly command a stage and had the whole audience laughing in our high school play. The way you show bravery by reaching out when you're having a tough day. The way you think that you will ever be a better TikToker than me. And the way you teach people that it's okay to just be their true selves simply by showing up as your true self. When I asked Sam to answer the question, what is one thing you want people to know about you? I expected a profound intellectual answer because Sam's a deep thinker. However, the answer Sam provided was even better. He said, I want other people to know that I will eventually rule the world. This made me laugh, but also gave me a profound sense of hope. Our world is a scary place, and the basic human rights of so many of our brothers and sisters continue to be in jeopardy. Sometimes this makes me scared, but then I remember that my daughter will grow up with people like you leading the way to a more inclusive, loving, and accepting society. Brene Brown says that courage starts with showing up and letting our true selves be seen. Sam, you are the epitome of courage. I'm so proud of you, and I'm grateful to have you in my life. This award's for you, Sam. Thank you for always showing up as your true self. I love you.
Our third award this evening is the Local Spotlight Award, which recognizes an individual, group, or organization whose work is significantly contributing to building connected, engaged, and resilient LGBTQ+ communities in Central PA. I am pleased to introduce Ricardo Almodovar as this year's Local Spotlight awardee. I first connected with Ricardo when he was working with Make the Road PA as a grassroots community organizer, building power for justice in Latinx and immigrant communities. He was instrumental in the founding of Amor y Rabia, Love and Rage, Make the Road PA's LGBTQ+ committee, organizing at the intersections of queer and Latinx identities, and creating a dedicated space by and for queer Latinx people. Since then, Ricardo has organized in many different spaces across our region, fighting for immigrants and workers' rights, LGBTQ+ inclusion, housing stability and basic needs, and government accountability. In whatever space he is in, Ricardo is always working towards the liberation of the most marginalized. His organizing work across communities is intersectional and impactful, and I'm so pleased to honor him with this year's Local Spotlight Award.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Almodovar, and I'm so grateful to receive the honor of the Local Spotlight Award by the LGBT Center of Central PA. My passion is creating change, and I just want to do my part to make a difference. I want to thank my friends, my family members, my partner Ian for being by my side. I also want to thank the following organizations for believing in me: Tabor Community Services, the Transitional Living Center, Crispus Attucks Community Center, the Lancaster LGBTQ Plus Coalition, CASA Pennsylvania, Make the Road Pennsylvania, We the People Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Budget and Policy Center. So many organizations, so many things going on in Pennsylvania I'm just grateful to be a part of. Thank you so much, Amanda and the team at the LGBT Center of Central PA, for this opportunity and the recognition. I really appreciate it. And I really hope we get to work together again in the future. Thank you.
The Legacy Award recognizes an individual who has demonstrated outstanding leadership and personal dedication over a significant period of time in furthering the work of LGBTQ plus communities in central Pennsylvania. I get to introduce Heidi Notario as the recipient of this year's award, and everyone is jealous, and rightly so. I served with Heidi on the center's board of directors, and she's a fearless and fantastic leader and advocate. Maybe she isn't fearless. Maybe that diminishes the courage she uses to move boldly and seemingly unflinchingly through discomfort to make the world and to make South Central Pennsylvania a safer and more equitable place for queer and genderqueer folks, Black and Latinx people and other people of color, immigrants, people with disabilities and deaf people, and survivors of sexual and intimate partner violence. Lots of us have witnessed and been inducted and been made partners in her work for justice and equity. She is herself an unapologetically queer Latina immigrant. She is a community organizer, activist, counselor, advocate. As Vice President of Strategic Partnerships and System Change at the National Resource Center on Domestic Violence, she is able to impact the lives of these communities that she serves at the national level. And at the local level, she has dedicated herself for more than a decade to the LGBT Center. On the board of directors for 6 years, she served as vice president, president, and immediate past president, and she led the center's strategic planning process in 2018. In the center's programs with youth and young adults, Heidi talked and taught about consent and violence and healthy relationships, and she grew the center's capacity to address violence and support our survivors through policy creation and development. She brings always a lens and frame for the crossroads of oppression and for those at the intersections of marginalization. She's been a critical part of deepening the center's commitment to anti-racism. And this is what Heidi's people say about her. As a thinker and influencer, she has taught us to do engagement, reciprocal and mutual, rather than one-sided outreach. She has taught us to ask ourselves and ask one another, where are we missing the violence piece? As an activist and advocate, she is direct, to the point, tireless. She wades into difficult situations and she handles it, and always in a way that everyone seems to feel heard and feel valued. She connects people, colleagues, comrades, and builds movements. She propels us forward. She asks for hard things, and then she has faith in us that gives us faith in ourselves to figure it out and deliver. She has fantastic hair. And when she calls us friend, even in an email, we feel it. It feels warm. It makes us smile. She has been reminding us to breathe and to be present long before these were buzzwords, long before they were fundable. And the wellness warriors of the NRCDV thank her for lighting the fire and showing the way. Heidi, Your friends said that it was nice to talk about you with me. You mean a lot to them. Heidi is a force of nature, and her legacy is extensive and still quite young. Amanda, the center, and I am so pleased to honor you, Heidi, with this year's Legacy Award.
Thank you to the LGBT Center and to LGBTQ plus communities of Central Pennsylvania for such a great honor. It's also a tremendous honor to share the space with the other awardees as we celebrate their tireless commitment to a better life for all of us. As I reflect on the word legacy, I think of a trail of impact, and inevitably, I come to the present moment in the life of this country that has been my home for the past 25 years. Like some of you, I come from a legacy of Black and brown tears, forced displacement, coffee beans, revolution, defiant passion, unrest in the face of injustice, and endless sunsets. I come from storytellers, worshippers of colorful gods, and a gene that keeps us fighting. And as I go back to the legacy of this country, one that rests on the pillars of white supremacy and its debilitating impact, arrogant, anti-indigenous, ethnocentric, anti-Black. And yet, there is a legacy of resilience and hope and resistance on which we also stand. These are not unprecedented times. A global pandemic, the overt acts of racism, xenophobia, transphobia, and other forms of oppression may be new for some, but are imprinted on Black bodies, indigenous psyches since forever ago. Borrowing from my Native sisters and mentors, I'm reminded of the urgency and the task of our times. We must build a world in which we are good relatives to one another. We must center Black lives, Black communities, and the health of our planet. And as Audre Lorde said, in doing so, we must love, resist, and thrive at the same time, or we will not survive. So let's keep on rising because our lives depend on it, to indulge our joy, to love and live without fear in our shared liberation.
Now we turn to the recipient for this year's Movement Leadership Award, which recognizes an individual, group, or organization whose work at a statewide or national level is advancing LGBTQ equality and inclusion within our movement and provides a model for us to strive towards in our work here in Central PA. I am truly honored to introduce Dr. Rachel Levine, our Secretary of Health for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and this year's awardee. As someone who works for the Department of Health, I am proud every day that she's our boss, forging a way ahead in uncertain times with her depth of expertise and experience, and a calm and steady leadership. Before becoming a household name, Dr. Levine had already established herself in her medical career, becoming well known for her expertise in areas of gender-affirming care, adolescent health, and eating disorders. She's always been an advocate for LGBTQ plus communities, as a physician providing care to her patients, as a professor teaching best practices to her students, and as a speaker and author, ensuring that her knowledge and skills are shared widely. Her career in state government began in 2015 as Physician General for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, before being named Acting Secretary of Health in 2017 and confirmed as Secretary of Health in 2018. In these roles, she consistently worked to advance health for all Pennsylvanians, and her leadership has been put to the ultimate test this year, fighting to save our lives during a deadly pandemic. I, and so many of us, have found comfort and reassurance and Dr. Levine, calm and steady leadership through this crisis. Under immense pressure, she continues to lead every day with the critical expertise to make life-saving decisions. As a high-profile transgender woman, she is increasing visibility for our transgender communities, even in the face of horrific transphobia, which no one should ever experience. It is difficult to fully express our gratitude, Dr. Levine, but thank you for all you are doing for us in our communities. It is clear that there will be no better choice for this year's Movement Leadership Award.
Hello, my name is Dr. Rachel Levine. I am the Secretary of Health for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I would first like to thank Amanda Arbour, Gretchen Little, and all of the wonderful staff at the LGBT Center of Central Pennsylvania for arranging this virtual celebration. It is so important to take time to celebrate and reflect on the accomplishments of our community and what it has achieved, especially during these unprecedented times. I am honored to receive the Movement Leadership Award, and I feel very privileged to serve all of you as the Secretary of Health. I am so sorry that we could not attend in person. However, as we have seen, COVID-19 is the biggest public health threat that we all face today. COVID-19 impacts you, your family, your coworkers, really everyone. What this virus has clearly shown us is how interconnected we all really are. It has also shown the true health disparities that are still present in Pennsylvania. In April, Governor Wolf announced a health disparity task force to address the unique needs of Pennsylvania's vulnerable populations, including our LGBTQ community. We know that this virus is impacting minority communities differently, which is why we are working to make improvements to the way that we collect data so we can inform public health policy decisions, drive healthcare delivery, and ultimately improve population health. That is why we have worked to include SOGI questions, sexual orientation and gender identity questions, in our data collection to make sure everyone in our community is counted in the COVID-19 data. We have also taken steps to ensure all people in Pennsylvania who are experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 have access to testing. All Pennsylvanians deserve equal access to care, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, the Department of Health is continuing to work with communities across Pennsylvania to engage much closer with communities, to connect with nonprofits and other organizations in order to keep this dialogue going. COVID-19 has certainly changed the way that Pennsylvanians connect and support with one another. You all play significant roles in keeping our communities safe and healthy. And together we can promote physical and mental health. It does not matter where you live, your race, your sexual orientation, or your gender identity. You are important. To improve the health of Pennsylvania, we all need to foster a spirit of acceptance and welcoming to all residents of our Commonwealth, to create better health outcomes for all. Thank you for your continued support. And always remember, stay calm, stay alert, and stay safe. Thank you.
Our final award this evening is a brand new category, the Creatives for Change Award, which recognizes an individual, group, or organization who is cultivating community through artistic expression, providing unique opportunities for LGBTQ+ people to create and participate in art in a healing, joyful, and impactful way. It feels fitting that the Sunday Best Variety Show is our inaugural Creatives for Change awardee. This ever-shifting collective of queer artists and visionaries have done so much to create joyful and healing spaces for queer and trans people to find each other and to find themselves through hosting live drag shows, digital events, drag story hours, student workshops, and all ages events since their founding in 2015. Passionate about the power of performance to transform and empower marginalized folks of every community, they've partnered with the LGBT Center, with Open Stage, with Susquehanna Art Museum, and with Midtown Cinema, in addition to local venues and student groups throughout central Pennsylvania. You've gotten a taste of their creative genius so far tonight. I'm grateful for all of the ways that they have partnered with the center over the years, including creating spaces for Common Roads youth to learn about and experiment with drag and entertaining them at Safe Space Prom. This creative and talented group of people uses artistic expression to spread joy, build community, and provide spaces for people to explore their identities. They have fostered such a unique, creative, and communal space in Sunday Best, helping many in our communities to find themselves, to find family, to find belonging. We're so pleased to honor them with our inaugural Creatives for Change Award.
I have to say that my favorite thing about Sunday Best Variety is just being able to be yourself.
Sunday Best is the best.
It lets people like me have a place where we can perform and be ourselves and not be confined to what people think drag is supposed to be.
Nobody takes you down the yellow brick road like the Sunday Best Variety Show.
Doing what I love with the people I love who are all passionate about the same thing as me. Costumes.
It's this amazing group of artists and performers and collaborators, and it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are, what your background is, you can just hop in and feel like you're a part of something larger.
The fact that it fosters this creativity from different artists that come together.
It's just a room full of love no matter where they are.
The opportunity and space that it gives queer people to perform and feel safe and feel part of a community.
Somewhere where I could feel accepted and know that whenever I go, somebody who cares about me will be there.
They were immediately so supportive, like anything goes with them.
It's just been so much fun playing with them.
The all-inclusive nature.
Acceptance, love without boundaries.
The sense of family and feeling like safe.
To express my drag the way that I wanted to and explore gender identity.
You can be anything that you want to be and explore these secret sides of yourself with no limits.
Every time I've participated in a Sunday Best show, I've always felt like part of a family, and I appreciate them so much for encouraging my favorite parts of myself.
I've seen people find themselves throughout the history of Sunday Best.
It's just fantastic to have that mutual feeling of watching my friends do something that they love to do and them supporting me right back.
It's just an ever-expanding family. The more the merrier. Anyone is welcome to come and join.
It's an all-encompassing, beautiful circus.
And I mean, without them, I'd just be, well, hoarding costumes in a basement, so.
Just as long as you have fun and stay true to yourself, that's really all that matters.
I think that that's a great thing to celebrate. Just, the idea of it's okay to unabashedly be you.
I've never really met another group of artists or a collective like this that has both of those things so well balanced, that is so invested in their performers as humans and as artists.
I don't know where I would be without Sunday Best in my life.
Thank you so much to the staff at the LGBT Center, as well as our community, for nominating us for this award. I love that it says Sunday Best because it truly represents everyone who's become a part of our family since we first started performing back in 2015. We first started this show because, well, frankly, no one wanted to hire us. And what started as a variety show in a smoke-filled basement, quickly turned into a family full of visionary artists and queer folks who also like to color outside the lines.
We are eternally grateful to every performer, technician, illustrator, designer, photographer, filmmaker, and artist who has contributed their work to this collective. To every venue and every producer that took a chance on us, and to our community for supporting our work. We are so thankful, not just for the opportunities we've had to collaborate with you, but for the privilege to call you our friends and our family.
2020 has been unkind in so many ways, but it's also been a year of revolution that's strengthened the bonds of our family. After 5 years of growing this community, we're more committed than ever to creating safe space in central Pennsylvania for our community to connect and to celebrate. We will continue to hold our community front and center in this work and to do everything in our power to provide social, economic, and political opportunities for queer artists on the fringe. United, we are a force to be reckoned with, and we refuse to accept a future that is anything less than excellent. Thank you so much. We love you, Harrisburg! Mwah!
Forget your trouble.
Happy days
Come on, get happy.
are here again.
You
The
better chase
skies
all your
above
cares away.
are clear again.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's sing a song
Come on, get
of
happy.
cheer again.
Get
Happy
ready for the
days are here
judgment
again.
day. The sun is shining.
All together,
Come on, get happy.
shout it now.
The
There's
Lord
no
is waiting to take your
can
hand.
doubt it now.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's tell the world
and just get happy
about it now.
We're
Happy
going to the
days are
promised
here again.
land. We're heading across a river. Soon your cares will all be gone.
There'll be no more from now on. From now on.
Forget your
Happy
troubles.
days
Come on, get happy.
are here again.
You
The
better chase
skies
all your
above
blues away.
are clear again.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's sing a song
Just get happy.
of cheer again.
Happy time.
Happy times.
Happy night.
Happy nights, happy days are here again.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're too kind.
Oh, thank you
you.
so much. Oh, stop. Oh, no, no, go on. Oh, please. No, you. No, you're the. Oh, huh? What? Oh, sorry. We were great, weren't we?
Sure. Well, I was fine. In all seriousness, we're so honored tonight to have been included with these 5 amazing individuals. So once more to our FAB 2020 awardees, congratulations. Cheers, queers.
We have been truly overwhelmed by how generous you all are this evening, and your giving tonight has made such a difference. It looks like I'm getting an updated total now. So far, we have raised almost $5,300. So we've already surpassed our initial goal. It would be fabulous to get to 6,000. I do want to take a second to thank all of the donors who have donated since I last saw you. Thank you so much to Heidi N., Michael T., Brenda H, Lauren B, thank you so much. Kim B, oh my gosh, even more folks. Becky C, thank you so much for your generosity this evening, Becky. Faith E, thank you so much, darling. Once again, any giving tonight, there's no deadline to give, but if you want to be part of our ask for this event this evening, go ahead and click that little button right up there. You have probably another 10 minutes or so to do that if you want to help us get to a $6,000 goal. Once again, this money makes such a vital difference for the LGBT Center's work in fighting for our freedom all year long. I think if that's anything we have learned from the amazing resonant words of all of our honorees this evening, this work is never done, and your generosity and support makes it possible for us to continue. Our goal was 5,000. So far, we've raised about 5,300. But this is your last call officially for donations to help us get to 6,000, and I think we can do it tonight. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I see more donors coming in. But before that, I do want to remind you, because there is an additional way to give. I've seen some of the silent auction items have really been climbing in my absence. So there's some that I may have missed the boat on, but it's not too late for you out there at home. So don't forget to check out the silent auction items as well. Thank you so much to Andrea K, Kristen R, Jen S, Millie J. Thank you so much, all of you. Yes, we have some fabulous items in that silent auction. While you're hitting this little button, let me tell you about them. Yeah, we have some fabulous wine, fabulous beer. I know there are tickets for several select locations, and not just in the central Pennsylvania area. Opera Zero, oh my gosh. All right, folks. Once again, this is your last call for giving this evening. Please, 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 I'd like for this phone to ring at least one more time. If you'd like to help us get to $6,000 and you haven't given yet, or you would like to give again, go ahead and click that little button, or you can text donate to 717-910-3446. You think I would have learned the first time and taken my gloves off. And it looks like we are at 5,300 so far. Thank you so much for your generosity thus far. We will check back in a couple minutes with our final total. But for now, I would love to turn things over because you've heard me jabber enough. It's been such an amazing evening here. I know that we are not together, but it's been wonderful to spend this time with so many vibrant people in our community. I'd love now to turn things over to our board co-chair, Reverend Miller Hoffman, to close out our evening. Thank you so much, folks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Treats and Felicia O'Toole, for being with us this evening. Hey, everyone. Eyes up here. Eyes up here. Please join me once again in congratulating our FAB 2020 awardees for their delightful and critical work. Dr. Rachel Levine, Heidi Notario, Ricardo Almodovar, Bryce Williams, Casey Stokes-Rodriguez, and Sundae Best. Loads of thanks to all of you for being here tonight, for your brilliant and breathtaking generosity in tonight's special appeal, which raised $5,300, this just in, $5,300 to support the center's day-to-day work. Thank you so much for giving today, and please keep giving us your money. Please keep giving us what you can, and maybe even stretch yourself a little bit to support the center and its work to uplift and empower and create a safer South Central PA for your LGBTQ plus communities. There are many ways to be engaged in our work, and I'll mention a few. You can become a sustaining donor. Our current sustaining donors are listed in your program. Each of them have committed to a recurring monthly donation from as little as $10 to as much as $200, which is a key, consistent, reliable, relieving, lovely source of funding for the center. Sign up on the center's website at www.centralpalgbtcenter.org under the Donate tab. Second, you can invite us to do a virtual training for your workplace. We're eager to educate businesses, nonprofits, schools, and community groups on best practices for LGBT plus inclusion. The request form is easy, and you can find it and fill it out under the Training and Education tab on our website. And third, you can stay in touch. Please stay in touch. If you don't already, be our pal on Facebook and Instagram at LGBT Central PA and share our posts to expand the reach of the center through your networks. Don't forget to post photos of yourselves from wherever you're watching tonight with the hashtags #FAB2020 and #Fighting for Our Freedom. The silent auction will stay open until Monday at 10 p.m. So stay tuned, keep checking on your items, keep yours the winning bid. Don't let people steal that stuff that's rightly yours. You will be notified next week if you've won, and you will be given the option to have your loot shipped or to arrange a time to pick it up at the LGBT Center. If you pre-registered a credit card, you'll automatically be charged if you win, and your donations from tonight will also be charged to that card. If you did not pre-register a card, you'll receive a checkout link from us next week to complete your payment. Please complete your payment. Thank you to our technician for tonight's event, Leah Davis, who heard all of us cats for more than a week and kept things flowing beautifully tonight. Thank you to Courtney Nat from Create and Be Art Culture, who did all of our video editing for tonight. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us for a meaningful and a fabulous event during these unusual and unsettling times. Joy is resistance, and as we continue to aspire to what we imagine, inspiring your LGBTQ plus communities for collective liberation, we want to celebrate what we've accomplished, honor those who have made and are making an impact, and foster the connections that make us resilient. Stay safe and well. Stay safer. Stay more well, as much as it's in your power, because we need you. We're so glad, we're so grateful to have you as part of our communities. Peace.